Hello, good morning in the Netherlands and good afternoon in Indonesia. Welcome to this session on Thursday, 26th of September, in the closing day of the Winner Conference. Today we will have a presentation on the collaboration called InnoCost, which is a collaboration between 3 Dutch universities and 5 Indonesian universities. I will share the agenda for today, and it's as follows. So I will make a short introduction of the speakers. Then the division is that we first start with Ms. Sweta, who will provide some information on the background of the 3 Dutch universities. Then Pak Mirwan, who will talk a bit about how the Indonesian universities are coordinated within this consortium. And last but certainly not least, Ms. Erlin will inform you about the process of applying for the DICTI Matching Fund, because this is a collaboration with DICTI. And she will enlighten you about the process in case you're interested to also proceed with the collaboration with Indonesian universities. We have a very short presentation today. It's only 45 minutes. So with no further ado, I want to shortly introduce the speakers, and then I will ask the first speaker to start the presentation. The first speaker of today is Ms. Sweta Manggarani, and Sweta is the Deputy Director and also Academic Coordinator of the Office of Leiden University in Indonesia, and in her capacity responsible for coordinating all the academic relationships that we have as Leiden University in Indonesia. Sweta received her master degree in Leiden in the field of linguistics, and she also has years of professional experience in the broadcasting media and journalism. After Sweta, I will invite Professor Mirwan Ushada from UGM. Pak Mirwan is the Director of Research at the University of Gadjah Mada, and also has the heavy burden with his team to coordinate all the 5 universities in Indonesia, which are UGM, UNER, ITB, UI, and Mula Warman. And after Pak Mirwan, as I said, last but not least, Erlin will inform us about the procedure. Erlin is the team leader for research at the research division of the Director of Research Technology and Community Services at the Directorate General for Higher Education. She's a big help for us, so I hope she can also enlighten you about if you have any plans to also engage in the collaboration with Indonesia. That's my introduction. So I would like to ask Sweta to start with her presentation. Please go ahead, Sweta.
Thank you, Pak Marik, for the kind introduction. Hello and good morning, everyone. So for the first part, I would like to introduce the Leiden Delft Erasmus Universities from the Netherlands. And these are 3 major universities in the province of South Holland, a province with the size of a humble 3,000 square kilometers, more or less. But, however, the presence of the 3 universities in one small province makes it one of the most dynamic and knowledge-intensive regions in Europe. Since 2012, they form a consortium, the first of its kind inside the Netherlands, and they work together on research and then also education. 3 universities together cover a wide spectrum of disciplines and are complementary to a significant degree. And for practicality reason, they are located in proximity in a densely populated metropolitan region of the province. So together with companies, governments, and knowledge institutions in the region, the Leiden Delft Erasmus Universities Alliance form a strong knowledge ecosystem that contributes to the economic and societal development in the province. But how do the universities implement such collaborations? Well, it's through problem-based research and education that revolves around 4 main themes, and that is sustainable, inclusive, healthy, and digital society. Next, please. Since 2022, the LDE, under its dean, Professor Wim van den Doel, looked towards an internationalization program. And Indonesia was then the most sensible choice, as it has been for a very long time a priority country for one of the LDE consortium, which is Leiden University, in collaboration for research and education with Indonesian universities and institutions. So in this slide and the next slides, I will highlight some of the flagship activities starting 2022, the LDE together with esteemed partners in Indonesia. The first one was the BRIN LDE Writing Academy. It is a writing workshop which puts around 100 young researchers, not only from BRIN, but also from universities in an environment close to a pressure cooker situation. So out of the collaboration came multiple joint research projects funded by BRIN and also outside funding, and visiting academic staff members from LDE to Indonesia and vice versa, a PhD position for a BRIN researcher, and selected articles to be soon to be published by the Leiden University Press. The success of which led to the second academy in 2023, also with a topic centered around sustainable urbanization. But apart from the two academies, there were also collaboration for research in the river basin of Surabaya with Airlangga University and the Delft University of Technology. Next, please. And after the very long introduction, I will now get into the main part of our discussion today, which is INUCOST. It is a Indonesia-Netherlands Universities Consortium for Sustainable Futures. And this initiative first came to light during a Leiden University delegation meeting with the Director General for Higher Education, then Professor Nizam. So the idea was to have a consortium of universities from both countries, and Professor Nizam and Professor Wim van den Doel, the Dean of LDE, agreed on a matching funding for research collaborations. So the discussion went on, and university partners were identified. So from LDE, from the Netherlands, but also, as you can see from the slides, are the logos from Indonesia, as requested by Professor Nizam then was ITB in Bandung, Universitas Indonesia in Jakarta, Gajah Mada University in Jogja, Airlangga University in Surabaya, and one of the pleasant surprise that we had was one university outside of Java. So this was a welcome development during the discussion, which is Mula Warman University in Samarinda, Kalimantan, which is one of the best universities in the region and very close to the location of the development of the new capital. So in 2023, the three universities from the Netherlands and 5 universities from Indonesia signed a letter of intent to work together, and it was witnessed by the Director of Research, Professor Faiz Shuaib. And the topics that was agreed, it was based on Indonesia government's priority topics, which was blue energy, green energy, AI and digital societies, health, and tourism. But after a long discussion, the university consortium decided to translate the government priority topics into energy transition, biodiversity, smart cities and AI, and health and heritage. These are the topics that we will be developing for research working groups in 2024. First, we focus on 3 themes, and then in 2025, we will add the other 2 topics, which are health and heritage. So, and the funding is matched by the LDE, the LDE universities, and the Indonesian government, which is managed by the Ministry of Education, and funding comes from the LPDP. This duration will be 4 years. So the 1.6 million euros will cover 4 years of research. Next, Pak Marik. And this was the first meeting of the researchers. This was in Samarinda, and the new capital of Indonesia in Kalimantan, IKN or Nusantara. And as you can see, we have some nice picture, and these are the kind of matchmaking that we would like, where researchers would go into one areas and meet. And as you can see at the upper right, those are biologists. They didn't know each other before, only two of them, I think. But when they met in their environment, discussions just started going on, and they already talk about this kind of small plants and the ecosystem around it, and also some bugs or insects that was living under the leaves. Okay, next, Pak Marik. Okay, so these are the plans for this year consortium, university consortium. The minor, joint minor, this it is planned in the scope of INUCOST collaboration. But for this year, since we are really focusing on research, the LDE education part, think that maybe this joint minor can already start, and next year we can include the collaboration with all 5 universities. So for this year, the research projects, we hope to come to life very soon. But Professor Milwan will explain this to you in a few minutes. But I just would like to show you that what we do in 2024 with the education is the joint minor with Universitas Indonesia, specifically with Faculty of Social and Political Sciences. Next slide, Pak Marik. And in this program, there are 19 students from Leiden, Delft, and Erasmus, coming from very different backgrounds: mechanical engineering, computer science, development studies, biology, nanobiology as well, and 9 students from UI, from the science faculty, but also from the social and political science faculty. So in Leiden, Delft, and Erasmus, this program is called the minor, the joint minor. But with Indonesia universities, it falls under the MBKM program, so the Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka program. It is based on a transdisciplinary education program, and it really aims at realistic issues and challenge-based. So the students will write scrapbooks every week for their assignments instead of writing papers. And at the end, they will do field work together, multidisciplinary background on some topics that they will choose under supervision from LDE professors and professors from Universitas Indonesia. And at the end of the program, they will present their finding, or a kind of policy advice or mock policy advice that can be elaborated into their skripsi, no, a bachelor thesis. Okay, next slide. I think I just have some pictures or from the minor, but otherwise, thank you very much. And I will give the floor back to Pak Marik. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sweta. So just a small recap. The consortium actually is not only focusing on research. Actually, it's three parts. It's research, and currently the proposals are being drafted and will be submitted next week. The second is education. So we already started with a minor, which we hope that we will continue for the coming years. And the third one is community development. So part of the package is also that the output and the outcomes of all what we do in terms of research and education also has an impact on community development. Yes, we have to move on because we only have 45 minutes. So I would like to ask Pak Mirwan to share his views on being the what we call the voluntarily appointed coordinator for the 5 universities in Indonesia. Silakan Pak, and just let me know when I have to change the slides.
Thank you, Pak Marek. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, Bapak, Ibu. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, continuing from Bu Sweta, I would like to share about how to orchestrate Indonesian University in INUCOS, or Indonesian Netherlands University Consortium, on sustainable future. Next, please, Pak. And Bapak Ibu, so as you know that INUCOS is formed by 3 universities in Netherlands, that is University Leiden, TU Delft, and Erasmus University of Rotterdam, and 5 universities in Indonesia in collaborating, that is Universitas Gadjah Mada, Universitas Indonesia, Institut Teknologi Bandung, Universitas Erlangga, and Universitas Mula Warman. And like Pak Marek says, that UGM was appointed as the Indonesian coordinator, and UGM appointed me as the voluntary coordinator to coordinate the INUCOS itself. So to coordinate INUCOS, UGM has formed 2 type of management. The first is university office. So there's 2 office in Universitas Gadjah Mada who work in close with the LD office at Jakarta. That is a Directorate of Research and Directorate of Partnership and Global Relation. And the other, we also appointed 3 research coordinators. So if university office will focus on the managements in this collaboration, then the research coordinator will focus on the research topic. So we form from the 3 faculty representing 2 clusters in Universitas Gadjah Mada, that is from Faculty of Geography, Faculties of Biology, and Faculty of Social and Political Science. That is Dr. Ellis, Dr. Tias, and Dr. Asrul. Why 3 of this faculty? Because INUCOS is formed based on the gap analysis, that is from the academic aspect, that is a sufficient theoretical framework in explaining diverse pathway in regional development. And our flagship is how to link between the human, environment, and social displacement. And next, please, Pak. So based on this gap analysis and scope of collaborations, we form the conceptual collaboration in INUCOS, that is a people-centered, urban area, and coastal area, with each of the topics represent the energy, water, green-blue economy, digital, health, and tourism. And like already mentioned by Bu Zweta and Pak Marek, our flagship approach is how to integrate Tridharma. It's mean between the research, community service, and education. As you know, the research is the core of Tridharma, and the output of the research should be benefit, should be give the amenities to community and industry and the government. That's why we downstream the research results in a 2 way. That is how to deal with the industry and also to deal with the community development. There's a many approach. For example, if we know that's academic driven innovation and industrial driven innovation and community driven innovation. And there's also the many approach of the research result in the form of the community development, like village partnerships, appropriate technology, student community service. And based on this application in the community or the specific locus, then it could be bring as a educating material or teaching material in the form like Bu Zweta said, inspiring by in the collaboration with UI, there's a minor and then a master thesis lab. That's why it will be integrating from the research, innovation, community development, education, and teaching. And we form on the specific locus. That's one of them as a pilot project is a new capital of Ibu Kota Nusantara. And as you see how to orchestrate this consortium, as far as I know in my notes, is more than 20 meeting. So it's form of the silaturahim in Indonesia. And we short it into, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, less than 10 in this point. It's mean that to orchestrate, we need to do effective meetings to optimize the need of the stakeholder. Please, Pak Marek. And for the topics, we derive from 2 sides. that is from the Indonesian government, through Directorate of Research, Ministry of Education, Research and Technology. There's a green economy, blue economy, digital technology, health and tourism, and also from the Leiden, Delft, Erasmus University. That is livable planet, urban transformation, science, technology, and society, life science, and health. Based on that, we synergize into the almost 5 to 6 energy and water, green, blue economy, digital technology, health, tourism, and sustainable urban coastal. And for the first batch is the first initiation. We are approaching their 3 main topics, that is biodiversity and forestry, energy transition, and AI and smart city. Next, please. And yeah, this is what we call orchestrating. The challenging in orchestrating is about the matchmaking forum. Yeah, we can do in the flexible way, either online, offline, or visiting each other. And the matchmaking forum is the purpose is to form a group of researchers with mutual interest and complementary expertise for each subtopic. So we will solve on the specific problem on the specific locus with the research baseline and also the research impact measurement. That is the pilot projects on the Ibu Kota Nusantara. And second, to assign the workloads among the researchers in each group to establish collaborative research to be compiled and submitted to the LPDP and the LD funding source, as Bu Zweta mentioned. And the scenario, okay, with prior to matchmaking forum, we are trying to make the scenario to optimize the need of each researcher from 5 university and 3 university in Netherlands. So we use platform online in Zoom, it's effective. We make a breakout room for each subtopics. And we put each moderator in subtopic with the task is managing the presentation and discussion. And it is important to maintain the discussion to be on time, so we to keep the time allocation. And second is making summary of the assigned question. And the third is we put the PIC, that is the 3 research coordinator for proposal for each topic as UGM as the coordinator. And the fourth, similar or related subtopics are grouped in one break room. And of course, we have the material, the detailed topics, subtopics, which is the list of researchers, and also the public short bio. So it's other know what is the publication, what is the patent, what is the portfolio of the research. And finally, the matchmaking only needed 2 hours. And this in 2 hours, because the specific locus in Indonesia, we initiate from the Indonesian side researcher to present what their idea. And the Netherlands partners, university will give the feedback and which part contribution will be. And discussion on proposal established or remind to one proposal or remind a specific proposal. And who will be the leader? That will be coordinate all researchers interested in a concept note to co-writing the proposal. And finally, wrap up closing by moderator is the most important is we need the timeline because all about the deadline. Yeah. And we should keep on the time, we should collaborate each other. The last but not least, please, Pak Marik. So yeah, this is, I think, the conclusion of my slide. There's another factor for orchestrating INUCOS. First is we have the informal forum. As you know, in PTNBH, that is UGM, UI, UNAIR, and ITB, we have an informal forum of research and community service for state higher education institution for incorporated legal entity or known as PTNBH. Actually, today they have a meeting in the Aceh also. It is regularly. And it is a good capital for us to coordinate each other because we have already regularly contact each other. And second is bilateral collaboration between UGM, UI, UNAIR, ITB with UNMUL. Yeah, for example, UGM and UNMUL has the historical track record related to the student community service and also related the same, for example, the topic of the river with the UNAIR and other university. And second, we would like to express, the sincere thanks to Pak Marik and Bu Zweta because that's the most important, the joint coordination. That's why Pak Marik said that it's voluntary coordinator. Why we need voluntary? Because we need peer-to-peer system. So LDE has a Jakarta office, and we have UGM as the coordinator, and we keep contact with the various communication. Therefore, I need a well-organized coordinating team from both countries to design and run the process. And also, we would like to express our sincere thanks to Direktorat Riset Teknologi and Pengabdian Masyarakat because they launched a new scheme of PRPB, Pendanaan Riset Pembangunan Berkelanjutan, or research grant for sustainable development. This kind of mechanism will change the project management office previously at the coordinating university, now centralized to DICTI. So it will enable us to focus on the research topics, and DICTI will handle the management of financial. And the third is communication. Many various WhatsApp, email, Zoom, how many, I don't know. WhatsApp group we create just to make sure the communication. And finally, I think the inclusive is the most important. Make sure the specific locus is applicable for all researchers with mutual interest, complementary expertise. Like a puzzle, we solve the problem on specific locus by trans-discipline. It's just starting the InnoCos this year, and hopefully we can together pursue the sustainable improvement of InnoCos. Maybe that's all from me, Pak Marek and Bapak Ibu. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back to Pak Marek.
Great. Thank you, Pak Mirwan. I think you gave a good introduction in all the work that has been put on your shoulders and your team to coordinate all the universities. I think if you have listened to Pak Mirwan's presentation, I think you will understand that the investment in time itself is, you should not underestimate the investment in time that is needed to have the effective communication between all parties involved, because it's again the 5 universities in Indonesia who already collaborate with each other, of course, but now within a consortium, the 3 universities in the Netherlands, and also, of course, and very crucial is the information and the communication with the Ministry of Education, as the because it's in the framework of a matching fund, and also we need all the guidelines from the ministry in how to handle the matching fund. So it's not an easy exercise. So I hope the people who are listening are not being put off too much in maybe contemplating to also start this kind of collaboration. But I hope that you can see that if people come together, things can work and move forward. So I think it's a very good tool to not only collaborate with your partners in Indonesia, but also to institutionalize after the project your collaboration. I will now go to the last speaker. Don't worry, you have plenty of time. And I would like to invite Ibu Erlin to present the information on the procedures if you want to apply for the matching fund from DICTI. Silakan.
Okay. Terima kasih Pak Marek. Thank you Pak Marek. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone in Netherlands, and good afternoon for everyone in Indonesia. So I'm from DICTI, Kemendikbudristek, which is Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology. I was appointed as in charge in the research division, and I think I remember I will introduce about how we do collaboration with UNICOS, with LDE Alliance, and with the consortium from Indonesia. And I remember the first time, I think last year in 2023, we met with Pak Wim van Doel and Pak Nizam to initiate about the research collaboration for InnoCos. So I will explain about how to do the proposal of matching fund and how we do the overview, and then we implement implementation the program, and after that we can do the call of proposal and do the selection. Okay, next slide, Pak Marek. Okay, the first time after Pak Nizam as a former Director General of Higher Education Research and Technology has had meeting with Professor Wim van Doel, we appoint to continue the program, to initiate the program. So we meeting with the LDE Alliance and with 5 university, and we heard how do they propose for research collaboration in 2023. And after that, the 5 university and the 3 universities signed the letter of intent. And after they sign the letter of intent, we as a ministry want to do as formal agreement. So we can do a co-funding and become a formal agreement as our procedure that everything in with government must be like as a formal agreement. So we decide to make agreement of commitment to continue and implementing the program. And finally, last Tuesday on September 24, we signed the agreement in the opening a winner. So I'm so feel like finally we signed the agreement. So I relieve because it's become a formal legal program as it's become the agreement of a government. Next, Pak Marik. And parallel with we drafting the agreement, we also join with what Pak Mirwan did with Gadjah Mada University College to coordinate the consortium. So we make a co-funding program for joint research. So it's a one-to-one. We agree to make for 400,000 euro. It's for the alliance. So if the LDE confirm 400,000 euro, and we also confirm the same amount. And we also put that in our agreement. And we develop the guideline together because we make discuss about the theme topic, and it already explained by Mbak Zwita and Pak Mirwan that they decide that biodiversity and forest city, energy transition, AI and smart city for the first call in 2024. And we as Pak Mirwan help with the coordinating all of the consortium. We develop also the guideline together. What is the requirement for the PI, the principal investigator, like, and then we decide also how much the member like that, like 1 university in Netherlands and 2 university in Indonesia. And we also decide what is the output, what is the outcome. So we decide together because it is the consortium. Of course, we have to do collaboration, and we are happy as in the ministry to have the consortium. And thank you for Mbak Zwita and Pak Mirwan for the collaboration, because we just some of our responsibility held by Pak Mirwan and Mbak Zwita. So it's all of the Alliance and LDE and the 5 university together working with the ministry. Next, Pak Marik. And in this program, we also collaborate with LPDP, as like Pak Mirwan say, is the program for sustainable development program funding with between Dikti-Ristek and LPDP. And for the first call, we make agreement. The first is for 3 years research duration, but we can expand the research. It's like 1 until 2 years. And after we decide with drafting together with all of the consortium about the guideline, we approve the guideline, and we also submit the guideline to LPDP, so they also know what is the guideline. And after that, we after the guideline already approval by the ministry, So we do invitation call for all of the member of the consortium. We ask the consortium to make a proposal and submit it in our system. And we can see that in the next slide. Okay, so we send the invitation letter to the university. We send it to the University of Indonesia, UNAIR, Airlangga University, Gadjah Mada University, ITB, and also Mula Warman University to submit the proposal. We ask the consortium to submit the proposal in our website, is bigma.kemendikbud.go.id, and the submission will be closed on September 30, I guess next week. And we ask the university must be approved the proposal. The deadline is 1st October. So Pak Mirwan will be like approve the proposal from Gadjah Mada University. We ask the university to approve it because we want the university also know which is a researcher, what is proposal that submit to the ministry. And then next, we have the deadline, like after the 1st October, we will, the Dikti-Ristek will review and select the proposal. And we have to agree with the timeline with Mbak Swita and Pak Marik and all of the consortium. We try at least on the last October, we can announce the grantee. So the grantee can implementing the program start on November or maybe in the second week of November. But we hope that in the November, the researcher can do the research until the next year. So of course, we also agree that for the implementation, will be followed by monitoring and evaluation based on the perform indicator that we already agree and we put it in the guideline. The monitoring will do by each university, and they will be like they will be submit the monitoring, the internal monitoring, and then for the second year we will evaluate how the researcher can the researcher already done their research and what the perform indicator that they will achieve. I think that's from my slide. I think that's the and actually, DRTPMA, Directorate Research Technology and Community Service, also do some consortium, but we are happy we have the new consortium INNOCOS with LDA and the 5 university. We hope it also make one of our perform indicator to research outcome that have benefit and impact in the society, because we believe that we cannot solve the problem with the collaboration, and we're happy that the research now is we have joint collaboration with Indonesia and Netherlands in INNOCOS. That's for me, Pak Marik, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Aline, for the information on the procedure. It's of course because the Indonesian government is also investing in this project. There's of course also some bureaucracy involved, and you mentioned the guidelines. I can imagine that some of the people who are now listening are interested in what are actually the outcomes, the KPIs that you just mentioned. Maybe you can just highlight some of the what is expected as a outcome of the project.
We already not only scientific output or outcome, because we also want to the university give something to the society. We believe that is more sustainability. Of course, scientific result also important to the university, but we believe that like the community service, because not only a journal or article that in the output, but we ask outcome like such as like policy brief, policy recommendation, intellectual property, like a prototype or some module or some system, or I believe that Pak Mirwan will know better what kind of research result that have a beneficiary and more impact powerful to the society beside article. Of course, article is important. I believe that as a government, we always be asking that how many research funding that we give, and of course government will also ask what kind that we get. Of course, we cannot answer that it's just only article. No, the government don't want that like that, because the government want invest money that have feedback and impact on the society, because the money come from with tax from people. So we have like have responsibility, the moral responsibility to give it back to the society. That's it. Actually, I think that is more important. The outcome that will be sustained and will be like more beneficiary to the society.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, the project is called Sustainable Futures, so
Yeah.
we hope that we can fulfill the requirements. We have some minutes left before I ask the presenters to make some recommendation. Do you have any suggestion or recommendation if Dutch Indonesian consortium is going to be a new setup? Do you have any suggestion or recommendation for them who is now thinking of, okay, we also want to apply for this matching fund?
Yeah, I think it's okay that play for matching funding, matching fund with the ministry. We welcome because we more welcome to co-funding and collaboration, because collaboration is important. I see before that I believe that in the collaboration, when maybe like example Leiden and Gajah Mada University have collaborate, and maybe I think that I believe it already happen every year, like Pak Mirwan has collaboration with Leiden. I believe that Pak Mirwan will bring his student, and his student will have like experience how to do collaboration, research, and maybe education with Leiden University. And also when Leiden join collaboration and doing research in Indonesia, I believe that Leiden also bring the student. So there's like more engagement with not only with the lecturer or the researcher, but also with the student, and then also with the society that in the research local happen. And for the consortium that want to join co-funding, we encourage to contact us, and maybe they can do the presentation, what is the collaboration goals, what they want to do, just like the InnoCos do presentation. The InnoCos already say that this our goal, and not only with research, but student also engage, and also the education process, like Mbak Swita already mentioned, there's a joint minor. So the domino effect will be like we get a positive domino effect. That's we like for collaboration. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
contact us, and we can do the communication.
Yeah, thank you. We don't have time for any other suggestions, recommendations. We're almost at the end, but I would like to suggest everybody who's listening, please contact us if you have any questions. Don't hesitate, because we have gone down the road so far, and we try to, of course, make this project a success. And the recommendation is, of course, plan ahead, make sure you have enough time for all your communication, and when you are contemplating submitting a proposal for collaboration. So once again, I hope this presentation was insightful, that we provide you with enough information. And again, please contact us directly or through the winner organization if you have any questions. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the winter conference, and hopefully we can meet again, hopefully next year. Thank you very much, and I'm signing off. Thank you.